Hi, it's Xavier, and welcome to my bonsai retreat. And today, it's all about you. I really ought to cut that, I think. No, seriously. I think it's the taxus piccata, or the piccata taxus, or the toccata taxus, or taxus. But either way, taxus piccata. You say potato, I say potato. No. Una catata. No. Lion King, go on then. You know what I'm trying to think of, don't you? Uma patata? No. I'll do my Pumba impression another time. I've certainly got the bulk for that. Anyway, what was I saying? My English you. And I picked these up from Xavier Nurseries back in 2017, and they were in a little pot like this. Well, actually you can see it better like that. And I bought 2 pots, had 3 in each, and they were definitely half the size of these. And truthfully, apart from ignoring them for a couple of years and then potting them up, probably 2 years, maybe 3 years, I think actually. But I really haven't done very much with them. And you know what? Today we're going to do something about that. We're going to do some needle plucking, and we're also going to do potentially a little bit of wiring, although they have had some degree of training, so it may not be too bad. But the main thing we're going to do at the end of all that is get them all repotted, and some of these may well actually go into a decent ceramic. I may even pull out the Dawn Isaac ceramics for these, because some of them I quite like. But that's what's coming today, so if you're going to enjoy that, please keep watching. And if you're not going to enjoy that, mute the sound but leave it running in the background anyway, because that helps my channel. And if you help my channel, that helps you feel better inside. You get that warm, glowy feeling, don't you? Or is that the warm, gooey feel? I don't know where we're going with this. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll pick probably this 2 set here. I'm probably going to make up a little forest plantation of 3 trees, which isn't really a forest, is it? It's more a spinney. It's a copse out. And I'll pick one of these ones that I like best, either this one, which is already in a little pot, or maybe this one, and we'll see those. I've blabbed on. This is going to get cut, and let's just look up a little bit close on them. So we'll do this and see. But these are the first pair. No idea why I put them in as a pairing, but they've got some interesting scarring associated with them that I think, now that I'm actually going to look at them and concentrate on them, I may well be able to bring them out to best effect. Lots of moss to get rid of, just those 2, but I think they'll be part of the 3 tree group. We've got this one, it's got a nice bit of movement, lots of foliage. Not quite sure where I'm going to go with it, possibly the tip, but I now need to say goodbye to my granddaughter and daughter, so 2 secs. I actually really like this, and you can already see there's going to be lots of easy. I have done some work, because there's definitely some pad layers or clear ideas of where there will be. I mean, here there's an easy win here. I'm going to cut here. I can easily cut that off there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it actually. But that might get into a nicer ceramic, I think. Lots of green foliage on it. Gonna get the moss off. It's a really tough, hard wood, but I deliberately split this down with a chisel, I think. I don't know why, I just did. But it's amazing how much they survive, how much damage they take. But again, there's some nice pad delineation going on here. And I know they're not the massive yews that you get to see from some of the other creators. Look at that, that cracks all the way through, incredible. Yeah, so that might go into a nice pot as well. Well, this actually may go into the foresty group, because I'm not sure about the shape of it. We've got a nice branch up, and then we divide into 3, so I suppose it sets it up for more broomy style, but I don't find yews look that way. So that could be one that gets hacked around a lot actually, and doesn't look anything like we think it will by the time you see it again. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that as a range of yews. I mean, they're still 10 years old at least, I would imagine. You'll see me pop one up singly, and then you'll see me play around and make a little group planting. So let's get on with it, shall we? Okay, Well, believe it or not, it's actually 5 days later, and we've had appalling weather. What are we going to do? Well, I've actually already picked the pot, but I'm not going to show you that yet. As I've done with a number of these where I've got 3 or 4 of the same tree, I'll demonstrate on one, and unless there's anything else that comes up on the others, I'll just basically do a before and after for them. So I only need to put you through this pain once, but that should be enough, surely. Now, as you'll know probably from watching other people's videos, what we're aiming to do with yews is to try and get the budding a lot further back in the tree so that we can actually cut back, keep growth in tight, and get this sort of, maybe not this one, but definitely here we've got buds here. These are the ones we actually want to be developing as our future ramification. But how do I achieve that? Well, I'm glad you asked. This instance we've got something a lot higher up the tree, and it looks like we may have a bud coming there, but I still want stuff here. Okay, so we still want to keep the green that's on this outer foliage, but this is far too far up for where it is in a position in the tree. What I'll do at this time of year, and some people will do it a month earlier, is I will just gently pick away these old needles. What that's going to hopefully do, well, I know it does it, is that will promote back buds to form, which will become usable buds next year, and will hopefully allow me to eventually cut back all the way to there, as was shown in the earlier example. So all I will do is I will be going around needle plucking anything that's lower back here with the aim of getting buds developing, and that's where my future tree will be. So what am I really talking about with the needles? This lighter green is all this year's growth. This darker green is last year's growth. This last year's growth, this one here, should pluck away quite easy, just pulling support gently in the direction that they're pointing. Don't try and rip them backwards, and don't try and take them in great big clumps, because you do increase the risk of actually ripping into the actual tissue and the cambium and destroying the branch. Once that's done, that gives you a nice clear section there which you can wire, and then as you saw, what I would then do once wired out is I would just go back to 5 or 6 pairs there, 5 or 6 pairs there, and you know, potentially reduce it down to something like that. So that's what we're talking about when I talk about the needle plucking. And then as for this growth that's here, again, I want the buds there, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting all the way back. Normally you want to leave, truthfully I'm going to cut those all the way back to there. There's a bud under there, but this is all too far for me. I want to leave a little bit of growth that it's going to continue to supply the tree, but anything here, to be fair, is absolutely useless for any design I might have in mind. But it's always thinking about building for the future. Get rid of dead bits, and I'll go around. We've got little buds in here. Thinking about whether or not that could be useful. Probably not, because it's going to be, oh, maybe actually. So I'll leave that, let that grow, see what happens. The other reason for actually removing these needles is because I may well want to apply a bit of wire. And I will go through here. We've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, so we've actually got quite a good bit of ramification, or what we call our secondary branching, coming off our primary branch there. This is the secondary, and we're aiming hopefully to get some tertiary, which is branches off. So looking at the length, I want to get rid of these needles here. So what I really want is the back budding in here. This is all too new to take needles off, but this one here, take needles off. And carefully, what we don't want to do is obviously we pull in the direction they're growing. We don't want to strip the tree. And then I will cut that back to those. Now, there is also the other option with these, is you actually apply the wire before you snip back, because it is sometimes an awful lot easier to lay the branch out when you've got the full extension there. If that makes sense, which it probably doesn't, but anyway. This one now I've taken off all of last year's needles, so all of these base of branches are free to be wired. I mean, Crumbs Alive, you can already see and get a clarity of what there is, and it starts helping make decisions about whether I might bend and bring this branch around. This is quite long, but definitely need to get some wire on this. Okay, well, I've been at this one for at least half an hour, and as you all know, certainly wiring, I'm starting to become more skilled with it, but in my head I'm still not seeing whether it's downwards, round, or whatever. So I know the techniques, but I'm still learning the actual appropriate directional bending and stuff. So bear with me. I know a few of you out there will be probably sucking your lips going wrong way, but I'm learning. So this is where we've gone with the yew. Basically, what I'm trying to do is to bring a new apex around here, bringing downwards, downwards. This is probably too long, but I'm also very aware, it's like this one, I actually want the back budding. And again, sometimes you need to think, look back further up the branch, and that's where I'm actually hoping to get growth. So sometimes the longer stuff can be a bit distracting. But that's where I'm at, so happy with that. So the only thing left to do is to put it into a pot. And go on, you want to know what pot I've picked, don't you? Of course you don't. It's going to be this one, which is slightly bigger than where it is now, because I might want to put a rock in there. Lovely feet, and it's courtesy of my potter, Dawn Isaac. Well, she's not mine, but she's a darn good potter, and her details are up there. Well, actually, her details are always in the description because she supported me all the way. What do yew roots look like? You've got a load of roots on this. If you've seen yew, then you know that they're quite a fibrous. You see there, you can see the way they are. Lovely white. Actually, loads of roots in this. Okay, well, sorted it all out. Just a few stragglers to sort out. Very happy with that, so let's get that in the pot, shall we? So what did I decide? But all I'm going to do now is, there's quite a few sort of surfacey roots that are up there, so I'm just going to put a little bit of sphagnum moss just to protect them for the time being, and then hopefully our birds who are tweeting around watching me won't go, oh, sphagnum, love sphagnum. There she is. Yep, I know, potting angle I think I've just shifted slightly wrong, but this is still in development. A lot of the structure your eyes are being drawn to hopefully won't be there in 2 years time, all this extra stuff here, because where I'm looking for, as I said to you before, is here. I want buds here, here, a lot further up here, and to bring it in a lot tighter. So hopefully that will help, you know, thicken it out and give it the sense that I want. But initially, you know what, I'm happy. Nice pot. You know, maybe you could argue it didn't need to go into a bonsai pot yet, but I wanted to, so I'll give it a spin. And it's always difficult at this stage because of course I clip so much back it looks a bit nude. So there it is. So this is my taxus piccata. We've done the una catata. No, I don't, I'm not going there again. Anyway, now lovely green glaze Dawn Isaac. I think it's just off a little bit. I probably want to have it a little bit further over to the left so that I can actually have the rock under there that I wanted. But hey, that's pretty good. So I'm now going to go and do the other 3 or 4 like that. I'm going to show you how they look at the end, and I'm also going to put together a little forest as well. We'll see what we'll show you with that. Well, who would have thought 2 more hours have passed, and yeah, I've managed to get 2 more L's potted up, and I'm now going for a little copse. This is actually quite a nice tree on its own, to be fair, but Now this, again, although we've got this great big long branch here, what I'm hoping is that we're going to get back budding much lower down, and if we don't, well, I'll actually remove this. And we've got this, and they're all odd sort of trees with all sorts of weird shapes, so it's no great plan to this, as you can tell with a lot of my group plantings, but in the end they sort of just meld in, so I'll be happy. Yeah, I need something rugged. I want to have lots of rocks in this, because when you think about it, you've got to make sure that it's always hard to add that the branches would actually make sense in respect to what you're actually trying to construct. I think I'm trying to create a sacrifice hollow, so there'll be a big slab here where they do human sacrifice amongst the yew tree, because that used to happen a lot in sunny England. I've never been a great one for planning, and you've probably picked that up by now. But it's amazing how things do just seem to fall into place sometimes. Sometimes they don't, of course. Okay. The hardest thing is to try and stop it from looking too contrived. Well, it is contrived because I'm making it up, so that makes it contrived, I suppose. Now ideally you want moss in this. Not rough enough, I need some rougher rock. Doesn't match. I don't know, what do you think? I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'll water that in and come back and show you how they all look. I don't know about you. You could see it was my usual big X style. Not a lot of planning, but you know, sometimes things just fall into place. And if they don't, just chuck some rocks on it. It always seems to work. So here's my little my yew spinny, and we've got an amputee mudman with his fish. I'm not sure where he got it from, but doesn't really matter. I think he looks pretty good. What do you reckon? And I think when that all grows in, it's going to be wonderful. This is quite long, but then I'm looking for back budding. So that's the yew spinny. Of the next two I did, one of them, meh, not so happy about, but that's the material. The other one, pretty decent, probably the best of the three singles I did. So I get them now. There's this one. It had a third branch down here which I removed. Not so sure. I'm probably thinking there's actually a bit of movement in the trunk, which you can see here. But I'm glad I got it out of the pot. I didn't show you, but the roots were very, very straggly and all over the place, and I needed to bring them right back up. So this needs a bit of root work still. Cheap pot. Not quite sure, but potentially more that way than any other way. So there's that one. And then the one I am actually quite happy about is this one. I think if you look in close, there's actually a lot more growth closer in, but again, if I don't get the back buds here, I'll be able to clip a lot further back. But lovely, lovely Dawn Isaac ceramic. I know we've got this branch here which potentially comes across the front, but what I'm looking for again there is back budding, so I want something further back here. But yeah, love the pot. In fact, probably I could do with a maple going in there. I'll give that a spin. A little bit of wire has been applied in different places just to space out for future pads, and truthfully these are early days for some of these. Yew has tend to be ignored just a wee bit. It's amazing how much time larch, oak and maple take in a bonsai life. So I hope that exploration into yew hasn't been too taxus for you. Is that too taxing? Oh dear. But it was necessary. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have. And well, the next thing we'll be looking for with these is, one, for them to get through the winter. They'll be fine. But two, I want to point out to you loads and loads of back budding, and then you can see me take them in closer. I think this is going to be something pretty special in a few more years. I'm definitely special, and I'm special now. From Xavier, in his bonsai retreat, waiting for a hurricane-style storm to sweep across the northern part of England. I'm bound to lose my greenhouse. I'll say cheers, happy bonsai, and God bless. Cheers again.